make the ornament cards that I have in mind, I've pulled together several papers that I'm planning to use for the ornament portion, and I'm going to layer these together. And at this point I haven't made any of these, so I don't know what all I'm going to put together, but I've got some different glittery papers and then some basic designer papers, and I'll probably do 2, maybe 3 colors per card, so I'm not going to get too carried away with a lot of different colors, but you could, however you want to combine them. And I've got some ribbons, things that I thought would be pretty to layer, some of these rickrack shaped ribbons, and these are some velvets, and then a real sparkly ribbon from Making Memories. And I don't want to get the cards too thick, but just to have some different textures on them as well. And it wouldn't be Christmas if I didn't pull out some of my rhinestones. These are, I buy these in the jewelry department at Hobby Lobby. I have some gold and some clear ones, so those may end up on there too. We'll just see what happens as I start to build these cards. Okay, the top of our card is a piece of gold cardstock from Stampin' Up! And then my ornament is going to actually kind of rest down in this, or the body of the ornament. So I need to cut a circle out of this. I've cut this piece of gold paper 5½ inches, the full width of the card, and 4 inches high. So a little bit of the background of the card will show. And I'm using a Creative Memories circle cutting set. You can use any kind of circle cutter that you like. I want my circle to be a little more towards the bottom because there's going to be a stamped garland or tree limb, branch I should say, across the top. Position my circle cutter. Cut that up. Okay. Now my ornament then will fit inside that circle, and the branch will be stamped across the top. And for the ornament part itself, I'm going to use several layers of cardstock and some ribbons and different things, and I will need to have something to put those on, and I've cut a piece of striped cardstock 3½ inches square. I'm using a stripe because the first one of these I did, I got some of the papers or some of the elements a little bit crooked, and I thought striped paper might help out some. You shouldn't see any of the background when you're done, but in case you do, if you use a color that's similar to what you're using for the rest of the ornament, everything will still look very nice. So I've got some different papers here, and I'm going to play around a little bit with the layers. Let's see what I want to do. Okay, I had this, which is a Stampin' Up! Product also, and I have some ribbon here I got from a craft store. And I think this would be pretty. I may end up adding some stickles and some other things to it before I'm done. But you can test out your work by just laying your ornament back over the top, and then you can see exactly how it's going to look in a round appearance. And the reason I did this underneath is it helps with the bulk of the treatment of the card a little bit, but also this way you don't have to end up wrapping these layers around something that's round. You're just laying the round part over the top, so you get a really nice clean finish. Right? I think I'm ready to glue all this stuff down. Okay, one of the things I need for my ornament card is a silver top for the ornament, and I don't have any silver paper. You saw the fancy papers I had when we first started this card. I have lots of gold, but I don't have any silver, so I'm going to make my own silver. And I'm going to do that using some Versamark. I keep a couple of different Versamark pads, ones that's a little older and dirtier, that it doesn't hurt if it gets some embossing powder on it, and then one that's fresher for my other project. I'm just going to coat a piece of gray cardstock very thoroughly with Versamark ink, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with some American Craft Zing embossing powder in the silver. And this is a very grainy kind of powder, and you get the same kind of look as you get on these textured silver papers. So all I have to do is coat that good. Ooh, boy, this is going everywhere. And the excess I'll put back in the bottle. I'm going to go heat that up, and I'll come back with some silver paper. Okay, and there is my embossed gray cardstock coated with silver embossing powder, and I have a nice silvery paper. I can cut that down now and make the tops, the little top for the ornaments. Okay, the stamp I'm going to use for the branch is actually supposed to go this way with the little ornaments going towards the bottom, but I don't want those little ornaments, so I'm going to flip it upside down. And I'm going to ink this up good with Stays On ink. A couple of branches here, a couple of sections to it. Okay. Alright. Now for the greeting, I'm using this wood mount stamp, and I don't really quite have room to go all the way across, so I'm going to do Merry and then I'm going to do Christmas separately. So let's do Merry first, carefully with a marker. And I'll need to clean that. Good. So that I don't get a ghost image there. Got it. And I'm going to ink up Christmas. Okay. And I have Merry Christmas on my card. And you could also use your Stamp-A-Majig if you wanted to line them up a little closer, a little different. They came out nice and straight. And now I'm ready to put the ornament part. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I'm not ready. I've got to do some coloring. I'm going to do most of this off camera, but I'm going to use two different colors to color in my branch. I've used some garden green and some wild wasabi, and I'll work those two colors together and get these leaves or whatever they're supposed to be. Of course, you could use other kinds of markers too. Yep. So I'll color that, and then we'll come back and we'll put everything together. Okay, to assemble our card, I've taken my ornament section, the body of the ornament, and I've put adhesive on the four corners, dimensional adhesive, and I'm trying to get that good and straight. And I'm just going to attach that to the back of the gold portion of the card. Now I need a piece of the silver that I was working with earlier. I need to cut a little piece of this for the top of the ornament. Let's see here. I want to make it a little smaller than that. And I'm going to glue that on, and I've also got some red ribbon to attach to the top. I'm going to use some regular adhesive over this section. I have to add some glue dots to that yet. Probably all it needs is a dose of patience on my part. Okay. And there's our ornament card. To let it finish drying, I'll put a clothespin to hold that in place. And when that dries, I have a cute little card, and you notice I added some stickles in here in the middle, and you can have whatever kind of decoration you want, and it makes a really attractive Christmas card. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you'll have fun making your own cards.